This video contains spoilers. You have been warned. 4 new dinos: Stegotops, Tricho-Venator, Scorpio Stegotops, Lithocetus, and a PvP revamp. Hello guys, and welcome to the U.G.N Union channel, and today we're going to be talking about the 4 new dinos that are that's actually going to come out in the game very soon, and I am very happy for that. And also, sorry I've been pretty just gone lately. I haven't made video in like 2 months, a month. I just had like a lot of stuff I was dealing with, but now I'm back, and yeah, let's get into this video. So the first one we're gonna look at first, and I don't even know if I'm saying these names right, but we're gonna be looking at the Scorpio Stegotops, and the abilities. I guess for a Triceratops, they look pretty nice. And that medium nullify, that's going to be really broken on the Stegoceratops. And of course, it's whatever you call that. It's a damage over time move, so that's pretty good. I always forget the names to it. Is it called attributes or something like that? But that, and then it has a dig in on escape, which that's pretty nice. This creature looks like it's actually going to be quite broken for a unique creature. So I'm kind of wondering how the hybrid's going to look like, or not hybrid, the apex creature, how that's going to look like. So let's hop into that one, but we got its health on the side. Before we do that, we got its health on the side, which it looks pretty good, and it's going to be somewhat of a tanky dino, I guess, of 25% armor. It's going to be good against bleed, can't get bleeded at all, so that's good. There's a lot of creatures in the meta now that has Rend. They use Rend. So the creature having 0 Rend resistance is going to be pretty bad. So hopefully this creature can actually pack a punch. It has 50% stun, or the stun resistance is 50%. The swapping, what do you call it? The swap block? That's just what I call it. But it's 100% resistance to that, so when you guys swap out, don't worry. And the armor decrease has a good 50%, so that's pretty good for the resistances. It's just quite bad that it doesn't have Rend resistance, because Rend is really, it's a lot in its meta, so that's gonna probably hurt it pretty bad. But yeah, let's move on to the other one, which is an apex creature. So the apex creature, these are gonna be its abilities, which there's 3 that it doesn't have the file or anything yet, so, or how the move's going to look like. So those are going to be just all not there, you know? But yeah, this one looks like a stunning ability. It has a 75% chance to stun for 1 turn. And these dinos are all at level 26, as it says right there. I mean, but yeah, at level 26 without boost, it takes 300 or 3,400 damage. That's quite a bit. Hopefully that's not going to be the damage in game. But yeah, I'm quite dumb because all creatures start out at level, or all Apex creatures start out at level 26. But yeah, that's a lot of damage for that ability. So hopefully they tone it down just a little bit. And it also gives off bleed as well, 25%. So that seems like a broken ability. The intimidating wounding impact, that's let's see, cleanse all negative effects, increase damage by 25% for 2 turns, increase armor by 25%, let's see, reduces speed by 50, and the attack is 2,550, and it also does damage over time. That is really, I'm not gonna lie, that is really broken, I'll say, because the damage output is really high, and it also does bleed over time, so that's pretty nasty. So we got this one, breaking impact, let's see. So attack is 2,550, reduces armor by 30% for 2 turns, reduce speed by 50 for 2 turns, 4 attacks, and automatic swap. So it's also going to be somewhat of a swapping creature. And then piercing headbutt, bypass armor, pierce attack is going to be 1,700. That's kind of nasty. That his attack can be buffed as well, just with his counter. Oh my. That does not sound good. To go against, I mean. Increase armor by 10% for 1 turn. Increase damage by 10% for 2 turns. And then of course it has a stunning strike, so that's just normal. And at the end of the turn, which is going to be the special hidden ability that it gets, if the opponent damage over time, increase damage by 10% for 1 turn, and increases speed by 10% for 1 turn. Then here's all the resistances. Again, no resistances to rend. For this creature, that's a good thing, because it can't be stunned, it can swap out without any trouble, and it can't be bleeded or DOT. So that's gonna be pretty dangerous. So yeah, it's good that that's going on with it. But now, moving on, we got the Glytocivis. I think I got the name right. I don't even know. These creatures and their names are just, you know, when it comes down to pronouncing them. But for the, let's read the stats first this time, actually. So for the stats, we got health is pretty okay. Damage is okay. Speed is not too good. For the armor's 25%, so higher than the other one that we're looking at, the other Apex. So that's decent. And for the crit, it's gonna be 10%. But for some odd reason, the crit damage is actually higher, which is 140. And I think that's the first creature I've seen that with. And that's not including the Omegas. Because you can do that with the Omegas, you can just upgrade their crit damage. but that's the first creature that I've seen that on that actually has its crit damage higher. So there must be a reason for that. And then we got the resistances, which 100% on speed and 100% on vulnerability and swap. So that's pretty good already. And a 75% resistance to stun. So that's pretty good. And then this would help it out just a bit, but it also has the resistances to rend by 25%, so that's pretty good. And of course, bleed is 25, and distract is going to be 50%. But now let's get into the ability. The first one we got is Cunning Speed Up Strike, which is cleanse damage over time, increases speed by 25% for 2 turns, 4 attacks, and then reduce damage by 50% for 1 attack or 1 turn, 2 attacks. Reduces crit chance by 100%. Yeah, you already know that move's gonna have that because it has cunning in it. Where are we? Removes crit chance. Removes increase crit chance. And removes increased damage. And the attack is going to be 1,500. That's decent. His second attack looks like it's going to be underwhelming though, unlike the other one. So second attack is Vengeful Ferocious Charge, which that one is going to be a priority move. And this removes Cloak, removes Dodge, 75% chance to stun for 1 turn, and then it increases damage by 25, or for 25% for 2 turns and 4 attacks, and attack 1,500, and it puts vulnerability by 50% for 2 turns, 1 attack, and this is the revenge. So let's see what the revenge is. It looks like, the revenge is going to be different. So 75% chance to stun for 1 turn, and then it's going to nullify all passive effects and increase damage by 25 like before, and the damage is going to stay the same, and that's going to be 1,500. Okay, now we're moving on to the next ability. So let me bring my mic a lot closer here, so it's quite easier. I'm sorry, I just had to get a sip of my tea there. Okay, so for the next ability, we have... Dang, I've been clearing my throat lately a lot. But for the next ability, we have something that everybody's going to know, because I will say a lot of resilient creatures, they're now getting this ability, which is okay. But Resilient Impact. It's just pretty much what the standard resilient moves have. Reduce or cleanse reduced damage, and removes dodge, remove cloak, remove increased speed, and attack is going to be 2,250. Then impose vulnerability by 50% for 2 turns and 1 attack. So pretty much this creature is going to be a flock killer. We need that with that new freaking flock that's in the game now. The Apex versions, or the Apex flock. And alert vestigial Devour Rampage. I hope I said that right. Let's just read it out because this is a new ability that has never been seen before. But has been seen before, if that makes sense. But, so for this ability, it increases crit chance by 100% for... What? For this turn? I guess that is just talking about for that strike. It's going to increase the critical damage, just like the other version. And then attack is going to be 3,000, which is quite broken. And then this is when it's threatened, so below 50% or less. So it breaks shields. And the damage is going to be 3,000 still. And it has Devour heal by 60% for 3 turns. So that's quite a big heal, if you ask me. And it has the swap in Stunning Distraction. That's kind of crazy. It's a 100% chance to stun for 1 turn. And then it reduces damage by 50 for 2 turns and 4 attacks. And for itself, of course, whatever he's swapping has, unable to swap for 2 turns. And then on escape, it has an increased critical chance by 100% for this turn. And then for the escapee, it attacks, and the attack is going to be 2,250. Then at the start of the turn, if 50% or less, increase damage by 15% for 2 turns and 2 attacks. But that one on the bottom, of course, just like the other ones, is a hidden ability, so that's what that is. And then we're going to be moving on to our last one, which it's going to be... Let's see if I butchered the name the first time or not. So this one is going to be the Trico Venator. I think I got that pretty good. And for this one, it feels good, but I guess somewhat... No, I don't think it's underwhelming. It's a pretty good dino. So let's just get down with it and start to talk about it. This dino, I'm the most excited for. I was hoping for the first salamander, though, that gets a variant. Or not a variant, but gets an apex, would be more salamander-like. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, more salamander-like. But it's okay if it looks like a Rex. I don't mind. But yeah, this one is... I really want this in the game because I use it a whole lot. So this creature is going to be very special to me. So let's get into it. So for the base stats, it's a pretty okay base stat actually. We have 4,500 for the health, and then 1,600. Sorry for that. For the attack, and of course mediocre speed like Ant. So that's going to be 110. Then 25% armor and 20% critical chance or crit. And for its resistances, that's a good resistance actually, because that's what Ant was missing. It has a 50% Ren resistance. That's what we need right there. So that's pretty good. We have... I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it kind of needs it though, because I think this creature is going to be broken. It has a 50% distraction resistance, which Ant has a full 100%. And then this is what we also needed for Ant 2. So I feel like Ant really did need it. But a resistance to speed decrease. So that's pretty good. And then of course stun resistance is going to be 75. And then just like Ant, oh my gosh, my eye. Sorry guys. But the resistance to what do you call that ability? Oh my word, I'm just forgetting all of a sudden. But the resistance to why can't I can't even think today, guys. I'm so sorry. But the resistance to vulnerability, that's going to be 100%. And then armor decrease, that's going to be 75% resistance. So that's pretty good. I like that. The speed, or not speed, the DOT is going to be 0 like before. And the sad thing is, guys, we're going to have to see the swapping at 0. Which for Ant is at 100. So no resistance to that. Which is going to be pretty sad. But let's get down to his first ability, which is going to be called Fierce Defense. Breaks shields, bypasses armor, of course, and deals 1,600 damage, and then it removes taunt. And then it cleanses all negative effects. And what? Shield by 50% for for 1 turn, 4 attacks. That's not bad actually for an ability. And it also cleanses all negative effects. That's pretty broken. And then we have the Revenge Definite Rampage showing itself again, or back in the kit. But this one is just going to be Ant's ability. So it's going to remove cloak, remove dodge, break shields, remove taunt, bypass armor, and it's going to deal 3,200 damage. And then for Revenge, it's just going to be the same thing, but without a delay. So it's going to be the same thing without a delay. That's about it for that. But yeah, that's pretty good that they have that one back. Gonna have that returning to us. And then we have Devouring Vulnerable Impact, which this ability is actually a mixture between Trico and Ant's ability together with his vulnerability ability and stuff like that. So let's get into it. So it's gonna cleanse vulnerability. It's gonna remove taunt, break shields, bypass armor, and it's going to attack it's going to deal 2,400 damage. And then it's going to, so this one's going to be target by itself. It's going to devour, it's going to have the Devour heal. Does it have that on one of his abilities already? Nah. Okay, I was just thinking of another creature. But that's going to be by 60% for 4 turns. So that's pretty good. And then of course, impose vulnerability. And that's going to be by 50% for 2 turns and 2 attacks. Okay, and then we have the Instant Taunting Bulwark. And for this ability, it's going to increase armor by 50% for 2 turns, 2 attacks. And then it's going to shield by 50% for 2 turns, 4 attacks. And then it's going to apply a taunt to itself. for 2 turns. And it's also going to have a delay as well. And then it's going to have a medium nullifying counter, so that just nullifies all passive effects, and that's going to deal 800 damage. And then we have Extreme Obstruction, which this is going to be a no escape ability. So it cleanses reduced damage by, or it cleanses reduced damage, and then it also has a heal for 0.75. Dang, okay. And that's going to be 1,200. Guess that's the heal. And then it's going to cleanse all negative effects, and then increase damage by 50% for 2 turns for attack, or 4 attacks. And it's going to increase crit chance by 33% for 2 turns, 4 attacks. And for the escapee, they're going to be unable to swap as well for 1 turn. And then for its hidden ability, it's going to, so at the start of turn, if heal, it increases damage by 15% for 2 turns and 2 attacks. So yeah, that's all for that, guys. Now we're gonna get into the other stuff, like the new battle look and everything. So let's hop into that. Okay, guys, so I'm going to switch off from my PC onto my phone. So I am going to sound a bit weird, but for just a new PvP look, I'm going to have this one, and then I'm also going to have the photo on the side of this, just so you guys can see what's all been changed from old to new. So the interface, they changed it a lot. You can barely even recognize it, but now the slots, the incubator slots, they have been slightly changed for the spot. And the events, they've been changed altogether. Now the events are going to be on bottom instead of the other place that they were at, but they're going to be on bottom now, so that's kind of cool. The daily incubators, instead of being on top, they're going to be in the middle of the regular incubators and the battle. And I think for Brawl, when it does come back, it's not going to have its own little spot down in the bottom, but it's going to be on the PvP thing near battle. So you're just going to be able to click on it and it's just going to pop up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that whole thing. And yeah, everybody already knows, but this is already live now, just in case you're like living under a rock or something. But yeah, this is live now, so if you haven't tried it yet, just check it out. It's pretty cool. And also, I'm not sponsored because, I don't have enough anything. But JWA Toolbox, I want to give a big shout out to them because they foresee a bunch of dinos coming into the game in the future. I won't even say in the future, in the update. So I think like 2 updates ago, I think we only got like 3 or 4 dinos, and I really thought that was going to be it. But on JWA Toolbox, they showed 2 other dinos, or I think it was 1 dino and then two other regulars, like uniques and stuff. But that Apex dino and those two other dinos wind up coming out in that same patch or in that same update. So I was like, okay, so these are 100% confirmed. And so far, everything that's posted on the JWA toolbox, like Apex and stuff like that, they've all came to the game. So I'm gonna tell you guys this now. All of those dinos that I showed already, or the 4 dinos that I showed, those are all going to be in the next, or not in the next update, but that's going to be in this update. It's not gonna all be like in the same time. It's probably gonna be a little different from the last update. But yeah, it's gonna be somewhere in this update when they're going to come out. So be ready for that, guys. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So please subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit that like button. And I'll see you guys in the next stream.